What's up, guys? This is Chris from draftdashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Tuesday, May 2nd. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 12-game MLB slate tonight. The picks were fire last night, so let's see if we can keep it up. So at the pitcher position, I like Freddie Peralta. Now Freddie Peralta, he's got a small pitching advantage here over the Colorado Rockies. He's only giving up a .590 OPS versus righty batters, facing 6 righties here tonight, and the Rockies have only hit 4 of his last 29 pitches, and that's a 138 batting average. So it's a small sample size, but a fantastic start. Freddie Peralta is $9,900 FanDuel salary, $1,100 less on DraftKings, averaging 36 fantasy points per game on the season. He has an ERA of 3.77, record is 3-2, pitching an average of 96 pitches per game. He scored 52 fantasy points last game. Now, Vegas does think that there's going to be 11.5 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. So just be careful of that. But outside of the runs that Vegas thinks are going to be scored in this game, hopefully there are for the Milwaukee Brewers side. So I like Freddie Peralta here versus the Colorado Rockies. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. I like Anthony Rizzo. He's got a 60% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Tanner Beebe. Anthony Rizzo, he's batting 16% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .864 OPS versus righties. Tanner Beebe, he's pitching 44% worse to lefties as he does righties, giving up a .900 OPS versus lefties. So Anthony Rizzo is $3,200 FanDuel salary, $1,400 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .274. So I like Anthony Rizzo here versus Tanner Beebe. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Brandon Drury with a 63% batting advantage over the low salary pitcher, Steven Matz. Brandon Drury batting 15% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .829 OPS versus lefties. Steven Matz, he's pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 49% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.024 OPS versus righties. And I like this pick because Brandon Drury, he's 5 for 11 with a .455 batting average and a 1.273 OPS versus Matz. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. He has 1 home run, a triple, and 3 singles. So Brandon Drury is $3,300 FanDuel salary, $800 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. Now he only has a batting average of .234 so far this season, but in his last 5 games he's got a 35 and a 38. So he's got some monster upside, and I love this batter versus pitcher matchup. So I like Brandon Drury here versus Steven Matz. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. So I like J.D. Davis with 103% batting advantage over Hunter Brown. J.D. Davis batting 56% better versus righty pitchers, batting a 1.053 OPS versus righties. Hunter Brown pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, giving up a .668 OPS versus righties. There's no at-bats versus Brown yet. J.D. Davis is $3,100 FanDuel salary, $1,200 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .291, scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. So I like J.D. Davis here versus Hunter Brown. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. I like Geraldo Perdomo with a 35% batting advantage over John Gray. Geraldo Perdomo batting 32% better versus righty pitchers, batting a 1.096 OPS versus righties. John Gray, he's giving up a .788 OPS versus switch hitters. Geraldo Perdomo is 1 for 3 here versus Gray with a 1.167 OPS. He's $3,300 FanDuel salary, $600 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season, and he has a batting average of .383. So I like Geraldo Perdomo here versus John Gray. So I think it's kind of funny. So you guys know that I'm awful at pronouncing names. I'm getting a lot of comments saying, oh, these picks would be so much better if you learned how to pronounce the names. Guys, I think they'd be better if my picks just start scoring fantasy points. And we crushed it last night. So after all those complaints, we had a monster night, which I thought was hilarious. And guys, I really do apologize if I pronounce a player's name wrong. If you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know it's just kind of how I do it. I just roll with the punches. I pronounce the names as I see them. I mean, I've heard a lot of these names, but when I go to read them, I just read them as I see them. And I think it's kind of funny. If anyone gets upset about it, I don't know what to tell you. Just try to laugh a little bit. You know, life's too short to be upset about someone mispronouncing a name. So let's move on here. At the outfield position, I like Mike Trout. Well, he's a home run hitter here tonight. One of the stud picks that I like. Let me give you a different pick, though.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
I got a couple outfielders that I like. So I also like Byron Buxton. He's got a 45% batting advantage here over Michael Kopech. Byron Buxton batting 40% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .947 OPS versus righties. Michael Kopech pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, giving up a 1.071 OPS versus righties. Byron Buxton is 1 for 4 here versus Kopech. He's got a 750 OPS. He's $3,500 FanDuel salary, $1,900 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. And look at this. This guy has been on absolute fire. He scored a 35, a 25, a 9, a 26, and a 28 in his last 5 games. Has a batting average of .258. So I like Byron Buxton here versus Michael Kopech. Now, if you think Byron Buxton might cool off or you need to save a little salary, take a look at Jarren Duran with a 64% batting advantage over one of my favorite pitcher names, UC Kikuchi. So Jarren Duran, he bats 34% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.361 OPS versus lefties. UC Kikuchi giving up a .878 OPS versus lefties. Now Jarren Duran is 0 for 1 here versus Kikuchi. He's $3,300 FanDuel salary, $400 less on DraftKings, averaging 14 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .404, scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. Vegas thinks there's going to be 9.5 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. So I like Jarren Duran here versus UC Kikuchi.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.